What's going on, guys? Whitefox1225 here with another video, and today we're talking about Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. So Rising Storm 2 is a sequel to the first Rising Storm, which was a World War II game that took place in the Pacific campaign of World War II. And Rising Storm is a spin-off of Red Orchestra, which is Red Orchestra 1 and 2, and those are games that take place during World War II, but in the Germany campaign and the European campaign. So this is the first Rising Storm game to move out of World War II, which is a really cool thing, and we're moving into Vietnam, which brings a lot of changes to the gameplay and the way the game is and all that good stuff. And that's really what we're going to be talking about in this video, as long as all the information we have and all the good stuff like that. So this game was first announced at E3, but it was really easy to miss because it didn't get a lot of coverage, even though in my opinion it is one of the best shooters out there, or the previous one is anyway. So we're really excited for this one, and I really wanted to cover it because I think a lot of people haven't heard about it. But there is some information, there's not a whole lot, just a little bit warning ahead of time. It might be a little bit of a shorter video, but let's just get right into it and talk about what we know and what we saw from the trailer and stuff like that. So they did put out a reveal trailer about a minute 30 seconds long. It doesn't really show much, but it does show a battle between the Vietnamese and the Americans. It looks kind of like a traditional Vietnam battle. You know, you got the jungle, you had like some century music, some good stuff like that. But we got to see some American soldiers versus, like I said, Vietnam or Viet Cong. We don't really know who they were, but this big battle took place. So we did get some information from the trailer, like both teams were using automatic weapons, which is a change because, like World War II, a lot of the classes were single shot weapons, you know, bolt action, and some of them, there were automatic weapons, but you know, they all had a lot of recoil, and I'm sure these will too. So it is a big change moving up in time. Now a lot of the weapons are going to be more advanced and more automatic, like I said, so it's going to change the gameplay quite a bit, make it more, I don't want to say like more rushy, but it's definitely going to be different, because you're going to be able to put a lot of bullets down in a short period of time, which does change the way the game works, and you know, how movement works and all that. But I'm sure they're going to compensate for that with a lot of recoil, or just a realistic amount, you know, compared to like Call of Duty or Battlefield, where there's really not that much. You can get rid of it all by using a foregrip. You know, they have a lot. You know, you hold the trigger, your gun is definitely going up, which is nice because it is realistic. And in case you guys haven't played the games, realism is what Rising Storm and Red Orchestra is really all about. Now moving on, we also saw helicopters, which was the big thing because Rising Storm didn't have any vehicles. Some Red Orchestra games did, so it looks like we're having vehicles come back. Now obviously the Vietnamese did not have that many vehicles at all, but the Americans did use helicopters a lot in Vietnam. As one of the defining ways they fought in Vietnam was picking soldiers up quick, and also the airstrikes and stuff like that. So we did see helicopters, which is cool because it's realistic to that time period. The Vietnamese were using RPGs to shoot them down, but it also does bring up the thing that Rising Storm did in the first one, which is asymmetrical gameplay. So even though one team might have more, they balance it out by using different things. So not each team has the same weapons and the same abilities they can use. Now in Rising Storm they use the Banzai attack as sort of a way to, you know, compensate for the way the Americans had better guns, and I'm sure they're going to do stuff like that in this game. But it is going to be different because obviously if you have one team with helicopters and one not, that's going to be a little unbalanced, so they're going to come up with ways to fix that. And so what makes the game cool, because like I said, they use the word asymmetrical gameplay, and it's also realistic to the time period. So the gameplay obviously is going to change a lot, but we do have vehicles coming back, which is confirmed, and we know the Vietnamese will have access to RPGs, which were used by them a lot in Vietnam. Now how they're going to balance it, it's going to be hard to tell. We do know, like I said, the Americans will have vehicles. We can assume they'll probably have airstrikes. The Vietnamese, though, it did say on their website that they're going to be able to use tunnels and ambushes. If you guys don't know, in Vietnam, the Viet Cong used tunnels like a lot. They had a huge tunnel system going throughout the country. So, you know, it's going to be cool, like, if you play as the Vietnamese, maybe you can, like, pop out, just, like, fire an RPG, spray, and then come back down and, like, move around underneath the map, where the Americans probably can go into, but it's going to be controlled by the Vietnamese, which is cool, again, because it's realistic, and you're going to have a unique experience depending on which team you pick. Now, they're also going to be using traps, I would assume. That's just pure speculation, but in Vietnam, the actual war, the Vietnamese use traps a lot, so my guess is they're going to be able to put those down, you know, just like the real war, because I'm sure they want to make it as realistic as possible. So that's all I really have to say about the gameplay. It does look cool, it is asymmetrical like the last game, which brings a really unique experience that you don't get with a lot of other games. Now moving on, let's talk about the graphics real quick that we got to see in the trailer. They look good, they do look better than the first Rising Storm. Again, nothing amazing. The series really isn't known for their, you know, great graphics, but up to par, I would say, with what we could probably expect. It's not going to be like a Frostbite game, but it's not bad, and I think really the game doesn't really focus on the graphics, a lot more on the gameplay, which is the main reason we play the game. So the game is coming to PC, has no release date yet. Think they said on Twitter we won't have a little bit of news for a while, so I will cover it when it does come out, so make sure you guys stay tuned. But I do recommend for right now you do play the last Rising Storm, because I'm sure the gameplay will be somewhat similar, low health, realistic gameplay and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested in it, I would definitely recommend checking out the last game, because it does go on sale quite frequently. But thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for more, like I said, or we're gonna have some videos on Mad Max, Doom, and of course Elder Scrolls Online with a new update coming. So as always, make sure you stay tuned for that stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.